Oh, you ready to go to bed?
We need a few $100,000.
Yeah, I guess.
A lot of money for people who had nothing in their life to speak of, didn't have a $400,000. So I went...
All locked up.
The scruffy 19-year-old seduced a conservative world of venture capitalists.
And I'm being informed that our own Jessica Robin is now at the crash site. What can you tell us, Jessica?
Bill, I arrived here moments ago, and I'm looking at the smoldering wreckage of an aircraft that crashed at approximately 11 p.m., very near the White Oak shopping mall. Now, firefighters just got it under control, but are keeping us and some of the rescue vehicles a safe distance away. All we know for certain right now is that the aircraft originated from Wayne County Airport. Now, eyewitnesses report hearing the aircraft's engines, and I quote, sputtering loudly as it passed overhead. I did see a number of survivors being treated by the paramedics and others loaded onto ambulances for transport to area hospitals. We haven't been informed of any casualties yet, nor the total number of passengers on board.
Robin, do you have any indication what might have caused the crash?
Well, it's much too early to speculate, Bill. Investigators from the National Transportation Safety Board are on their way and will be working closely with the FAA and the airline to determine the cause. I can tell you that the weather tonight is mild, the stars are bright, and the wind is gentle, so it doesn't appear to be a factor. If you stay with me a moment, I'll see if we can talk to an eyewitness.
Are you still awake?
Yeah, I can't sleep. If you work in aviation, the word crash grabs you right away. If you're an aviation mechanic, it reaches deep down inside you and won't let go. On this night, I barely slept. I couldn't make out the fuselage colors, the logo, or the tail numbers. Thankfully, the telephone never rang. But it could have. For me, the next day turned into a wake-up call.
Good morning, Lou. How are you?
Hey, George.
Did you hear about the plane crash last night?
Yeah. Ascension Airways had one belly in. That was really bad.
Golly, it could have been us, huh?
Thank God it wasn't. I hate to hear about something like that. They,
Have you heard anything new?
No, they're not releasing any information about the accident yet. And as far as we know, there weren't any survivors, though. Really bad. I'll catch you later.
Okay, have a good one.
You know what you're doing?
Oh, man, what's he want now? Yeah, sure I do.
Who taught you to do it that way?
Lou, you taught me how to do it just last week.
Last week? Last week?
Oh, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Where's the maintenance manual?
Lou, you didn't use a manual.
Sure I did.
No.
Didn't I?
You can't use that wrench on that housing. You're going to break the housing.
What's wrong with the wrench?
There's the right tool for every job. That needs to be torqued. What did they teach you in that school anyway?
Got my A&P license, didn't I?
Yeah, you got your license all right.
What's up with that?
Oh, great. Not today.
Hi, Lou. How you doing?
Hi, Janet. How you doing today?
Fine.
Don, this is Janet Dowling. She's our FAA Principal Maintenance Inspector. Janet, this is Don Petrosh. He's our newest whiz kid. Ink's still wet on his license, but we're trying to break him in.
Nice to meet you.
As in Don Petros?
Yeah.
Junior?
Yeah.
And this is Don's son.
How neat. I knew your dad very well. You know, they broke the mold when your dad died, and I don't think I've ever known a better mechanic.
Thank you.
He was very conscientious about what he did, and he did what he did well, and he was a gentleman to boot. And don't you let this big guy give you any trouble. He and your dad were the perfect team. They were practically inseparable.
So tell me, what brings you into our little corner of the world today?
Well, you know, I was just over at Ascension Airways, and I was in the neighborhood, and I thought I'd stop by to see how you're doing.
Well, I caught that news report last night. Things must be pretty tough over there today. What's the latest?
Well, it's not a whole lot that I can tell you. The NTSB has been pretty busy, and we're looking over the maintenance records, especially those concerning the engines. And I just really cannot stress how important it is to do good maintenance repairs and have proper maintenance documentation. It's critical.
You know, we were just talking about that today. I've been trying to train these young guys, and we were just discussing the need for using the proper manual.
Very good.
Manual. I'm just changing the filter.
See,
Now, how dangerous can that be?
you know, that's a good reason you should use the checklist.
Checklist.
What checklist?
Lou, the minimum personal maintenance checklist that I gave you last week, remember?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they're here someplace.
Come to think of it, I didn't see any checklist cards being used over at Ascension either. Maybe I did a poor job of spelling out just how important these reminders can be.
Do you want to grab a couple?
Sure.
Okay, I'd like to show him one.
They're here somewhere. Just can't find them.
Sort of like my valuation, huh?
Yeah. There they are.
Thank you.
Janet?
We've developed this handy card to help you with your daily maintenance tasks. The card has two sides, a before the task side and an after the task checklist. And we developed a card to cover all our bases and not leave anything to chance. For example, let's take a look at the second item.
Do I have the technical data to perform the task?
Like the manual.
Well, now you also have maintenance manuals, AD notes, supplemental service bulletins. All these things help.
But I don't need all that just to change out filters. I already know how to do that.
That's why you weren't using the torque wrench earlier, right?
Well, now, you know, sometimes we think we're proficient to the task, even the small ones. But it doesn't hurt to check yourself by asking yourself the question, do I have the knowledge to perform the task?
These young guys come in here fresh out of school thinking they already know everything.
I do have an A&P license, don't I? And I did graduate at the top of my class, didn't I?
Sure, maybe you have the book knowledge, but you don't have the practical experience that you need.
Well, you see, Lou, that's where you come in, because our card does mention training, and that includes on the job as well as classroom training. I think I'm going to go walk out in the hangar for a little while. But you should show him what to do and include in your demonstration the proper use of tooling and equipment. It might help.
I guess I jumped into that one. I could have approached him a little bit better. I think Janet may be right.
So do I.
Let's go on out to the hangar. I want to show you something.
All right.
This is the torque setting right here.
All right. Got it set.
What's the matter? This job keeping you awake, party boy?
I wasn't partying. I stayed up last night and watched the ball game.
Well, how'd they do?
They blew it in the end. I'm getting tired of watching these guys staying up.
Why did Janet really stop here today? Is she looking for something specific? Did the accident trigger some new oversight? And what's the deal with this checklist all of a sudden?
Okay, the torque's set.
That's good.
You know, although I could have probably used a few more hours of sleep.
Yeah.
You know what, Lou?
What, Janet?
Even though you didn't pass out the maintenance checklist, some of your mechanics are following some of the procedures. And I'll bet if you implemented that card, safety would be their primary objective. Might make your job a lot easier.
How's that, Janet? What did you see?
Come with me and I'll show you, right over here in the bag bin. Grab your card.
Yeah, come along, kid.
Let's go this way, it's safer. It's right over in here is where I want to show you. You see, they're using good procedures here. And the card reminds us to reinspect our work or have someone else check it out.
Looks like they're doing just that.
Look, I told you earlier, we've got to get this job finished to get this airplane out of here. I've got to get another aircraft in here today. Do you understand?
You know, with a little help, we could probably get this done faster. What a jerk.
Man, that isn't cool.
You know, you're absolutely right, Don. And that mechanic is going to go about the rest of his workday working under additional stress. Do you think he's thinking about being safety conscious?
I don't know.
Do you think he's asking himself, am I performing the job task without pressures, stress, and distractions?
No, he's just going to want to get it out.
I don't think so either.
Hey, I have this one from before the task. Have I researched the FARs to ensure compliance, right?
I'd say that would include the maintenance manual.
Excuse me, Lou. Can you sign this for me, please?
Sure. Did you do a leak check?
I was just about to do that. Excuse me.
You know, Janet, I can see where you've really got something here with this checklist. This really proved useful. I've gotten a little complacent around here. You know, you were right about Don Sr. and his attention to details. This is the sort of thing that Don would have gotten into. You know, I really didn't realize I missed his nagging so much until the accident last night. That could have been our aircraft. It could have been our friends. It could have been our family.
You know, Janet, this last item here on the card is what did it for me. It makes me realize that we're talking lives, not machinery.
You know, you're absolutely right, Lou. I can't imagine what might have happened if I put more emphasis on these cards over at Ascension Airways. I think I'm going to go back over there.
Well, look, do you think you might be able to come back and do a session with the team? It sure would help out.
Sure, I'd be glad to.
Great.
Don, nice to see you. I'll be talking to you.
So long, Janet.
So that's the FAA, huh?
That's the FAA. Look, I'm going to go ahead and get these handed out. You can go back and finish up your job, take care of the paperwork. Make sure you do it according to the specs, okay?
You know, Lou, I'll never be as good as my dad was.
Sure you will. In time, I'm going to see to it. After all, I promised him.